Hey there, AfterBuzzers. This is Supergirl, Season 2, Episode 11, The Martian Chronicles. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah! It's been 1 week since you've looked at us. Yeah! This is the Supergirl After Show once again. While you're here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to show us that you love us. I'm your host, Tauri Miller, and I'm joined by a wonderful panel of people. To my left, Stephanie Wenger.
Hi, guys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stephanie Wenger.
Lex Michael.
I am all over social media at the Lex Michael.
Hi guys, I'm Joelle Monique. I'm all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
And woman in the chat, we have Lacretia Lyon.
Hey guys, I'm watching X-Files with no lights on later, but it'll be 1 week till you see me again at LACRETIALYON. I don't know where I was going with that.
I liked it.
Like Lacretia inviting everyone to sit in the dark and watch X-Files with her?
I did not invite them. I said I was doing that, and it's in the song. You know how I love my Canadians, so I know every word to every Bare Naked Lady song.
Yeah, she's just keeping people abreast of what she's doing.
Copy.
Abreast. I like that. And 52. The new 52.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yes.
Excellent.
How inside. Gross. All right. So today's episode was super Martian-licious. That's a thing. Get your Martianos, because they're Martian-licious. Yep. This is how this show is starting. What do you guys think of it?
I feel like you just pitched us a new cereal, and I'm really excited about
I
it.
feel like we're really going all over the place tonight, but I really liked the episode. I thought the Martian invasion was really fun. I wanted it to be a little bit more of like whodunit. I felt like they could play it out a little bit more and have had a little more fun with like, is this the person, is it not? But I still really enjoyed it, and they chose interesting characters to have kind of taken over by White Martian.
Yeah.
Surprising nobody, this episode made me very, very, very happy. I loved all of the Martian stuff. Finally got so much of that Martian action that I've been craving so intensely all season. Some fun nods to The Thing, to James Cameron's Aliens, and I also love the relationship stuff in this episode. I thought they were able to balance that all out very, very nicely, and I love that you can have this big episode with like Martians fighting each other and who's a Martian and who's not a Martian, and you can get to the end of the episode and you can cap it off with two very poignant, very grounded, emotional scenes that you strip away all the superheroics could be at home in any drama.
I feel like such a Debbie Downer around you guys. They made my girl McGon leave, and now I'm not happy. Like the whole time, I'm like, this is giving me life. I love Martians. For those of you who don't know, my first crush was Martian Manhunter on DC, on Justice League. That's not a joke. I was really in love.
Mine was Dick Grayson, so don't
We're
worry
together,
about it.
Lucretia. Weirdos unite. So I love every time Martian Manhunter gets a chance to shine, and then McGon is my girl, and I love her. And even though they're doing very different things with her here, I think she's been really fun to watch, and I was excited to see her storyline progress. Especially, hopefully, she was going to start integrating more with humans. And then they were just like, "Oh no, it was cool to see you. Bye." I was like, "No."
Yes. Well, yes.
It felt a little bit to me like Patty on The Flash last year, where they spent a lot of time over half a season building her up for greatness, and then all of a sudden, very quickly, it's like, no, I'm leaving forever, bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Patty.
And same thing is like we're angry because I wanted superhero sex like with Patty and the Flash, and I want Martian sex with McGon and John, and I'm really upset in the CW. Guys, seriously, you are a network of sex on every other thing but superheroes. Let's get some weird power sex.
I mean,
Jessica Jones style.
All right, guys, I'm gonna rein this back in a little bit, and we're gonna rewind. You've got feelings. You've got lots of feelings, but we gotta get
So
there.
many feelings.
Just start putting them like you're eating spaghetti. Just start wrapping them around your fork.
You do it with your finger?
Yeah, you do it with your fingers. Start wrapping them around your finger, and then slurp them all off.
Oh, sorry. That was dirtier than every joke I've ever made on here.
And really confusing as a metaphor.
Also, just like maybe consider some manners school.
We clearly went down the rabbit hole.
Apparently.
What's happening?
All right. Anyways.
Maybe one of us is a white Martian.
Oh, Stirring up trouble.
My bet's on Lex.
Mine
That's
too.
true. I
He is
wasn't here
Prometheus.
earlier.
Yeah.
Why would he mention it though if he was the one?
Maybe
Because
to
that's
deflect
the best way to
suspicion,
deflect.
to make
All
him
right,
look innocent. Let's do
so-
the fire test right now, live.
Yep. I probably have a lighter.
Guys, I want to talk about Harmesh. I really want to talk about this guy. This was Magan's former husband.
Yes.
And I felt like his character was really well played. Like, I don't know the name of the actor. Lacretia, if you can look that up while I'm stalling.
Fact checker.
The actor who played the White Martian,
Yes.
Terrell Tilford.
Terrell Tilford.
He was seen in The Young and the Restless as well as One Life to Live. He's a soap actor, guys. That's how I knew who he was.
Excellent.
Lucretia with
I
the
know.
facts.
I don't even have to look that up.
That's why we have you here. But he was really menacing, and I loved that he wasn't just like a random bounty hunter. He was someone who had a very specific and intimate bond with Magan.
Yeah, that was something that I did want to see a little bit more of, see that explored with a little bit more depth, but in fairness, there was a lot going on in this episode,
Yeah.
and if I'm only gonna get one or the other, I'd much rather they all turn into aliens and hit each other.
If you hit the nail on the head, I really wish this were kind of a two-part episode. It would have been nice to see some of the nuance, like maybe why Magan liked this guy ever in the first place. Like, I feel like there's a part of Magan missing, which is the part that was with the Resistance in the first place.
Gotcha.
And I think it would be really nice to have seen like how, like, where that disillusionment happened and how it affected her emotionally. Not just like, I've done my whole family, but my God, I used to like help and believe in this stuff, and now it's over. So she's going back to like address it, but I don't know. I feel like we're missing a lot of story potentially between her and the husband. And before she killed him, it would have been nice to get a little bit more of a sense of who he was.
I felt like we spent a good portion of this season kind of as an audience warming up to Magan. Like we were like, finally in the last few episodes, I was like, oh, I know her, I like her. She's like, I got what she was all about, kind of, because we didn't get enough of her, I felt like, early on to really identify with her. And then to have her taken away in this episode felt like I was like, wait, no, I'm just like getting on board. Like, I want more now. Like,
I had the exact same reaction last year on Flash, and it's the same. It's the way.
Deja vu.
Well, it's the way they reconcile, and then the very next week she's gone indefinitely. That would make me. My gut reaction would be, oh, okay, well, she's definitely going to come back somewhere before the end of the season and factor into the resolution of all of the rest of these plot lines. But that's also what I thought last year when I was watching The Flash.
Okay.
yeah. So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you think she's done?
I hope not, but
I hope not. I really
I mean,
want
she
more.
just brought all
Yeah.
these feelings out of John, and he's finally able to open up. And they didn't even get a kiss.
Yeah, they got to touch.
Yeah,
Martians.
they touched
I
foreheads.
get that it's how the Martians and it's more intimate or whatever, but I wanted a kiss, damn it. This forehead touching is too PG.
Oh, and not to interrupt too much, but Redneck and Nerd, I love your name, by the way, because same. But says Lex is White Martian pretending to be Prometheus, pretending to be Savitar. I totally agree.
Oh.
Fact.
Just be yourself, Lex.
I gotta go, you guys.
You just melt into a puddle. I would argue, since we are comparing Magan leaving to the Patty Spivot thing, Patty was very out of the blue. However, I feel like Magan's storyline was a clear arc. Like, she started out as a girl on the run, afraid of who she was. Then she found herself opening up to this Green Martian and realizing that, like, she is different and she can make a difference the same way that John is doing. And now she realizes that, like, not everyone who is a White Martian could be that way. So, like, I thought it was a really good way. Like, I know from romantic standpoints and characters, I'd like her as a character, but, like, seeing her kind of know that she is better than what she is and she doesn't have to hide out in this bar, I thought was a really good character moment.
She is
for
a
her.
fully realized character and not just a girlfriend, which is sort of rare and kind of exciting to
Yeah.
see. But it's also a little weird that she's just charging headlong back to Mars, like, without a plan or backup or new weapons, or like just take something with you, girl. Like it just seems like I'm just gonna march right into death.
Yeah,
Totally fine.
I agree with both of you in that it all makes sense, and it feels like we've come to a clear resolution of this character's arc as it's been laid out so far this season, but it also does feel like we're wrapping things up and moving on real fast.
It's a little neat.
Both in terms of her decision to actually leave, and also it does track that the next move for her after she makes this profound inner realization would be to try and go back to Mars and spread that message. But yeah, for real, like you don't have a plan as such yet. Like maybe you take another week or two and you assess and you plot your course.
Or hell, take John with you.
Or something.
No, you can't take a green to go like try to infiltrate the whites though.
What I'm starting to wonder though is if she's serving a larger purpose in the story in some way, like it'll allow John to be more emotional. There's got to be something else that she's serving in this, because I agree she is a complete character. I don't disagree, but I wanted something more for her, so I'm hoping that it leads to something more for him.
I kind of almost wish we had this storyline before Invasion so that she could come back and help save stuff during Invasion. I feel like, just like with Invasion where I felt there needed to be more aliens, I feel like with the Martian invasion, I needed more Martians. Like it was cool the way they did it. I just wish we had a 2-part where they were like, and now we bring in like the SEAL Team 6 of Martians, and it's like, oh shit.
Well, at the rate they're going, next year we're gonna have like a 2-week, 10-part crossover across like 8 shows.
And then I'll finally be happy.
And all of the aliens are gonna be there.
Yes.
Yeah, like it crosses over with Gotham and Lucifer.
I think Berlanti's gonna make like 6 more on his own.
Yeah.
Riverdale just shows up for no reason.
Yeah, it's
Archie's
like
just walking
Archie's
around.
always crossing over.
They're all like battling in the air, and he's just running around trying to cover his head.
I love it.
Well, and yeah, the chat seems to think Magan won't be gone for long. Huh? And Ivan Soto brought up, and I think we need to do it, is name that alien bar. Like, that would be the contest for those doodles.
Agreed.
Yeah, name that alien bar.
Name that alien bar, brought to you by AFTERBUZZ TV. This is your chance to name that bar. Do you want to hear us refer to a bar specifically by a certain name that you came up with every week? Then submit to us with hashtag whatever your thing is. Wait, what are we?
For clarification, he will use the name every week. You don't have to come up with a name every week.
You should come up with a name every week.
You can.
Stretch those
it's true.
creative muscles. We'll call the bar something different every time.
That's
I feel
not
like that gets
confusing at all.
How will we know which bar we're going
Guys,
Well,
to?
every time you
doing a
hear us,
bit.
refer to a building by a specific name, and you go, "That doesn't sound familiar. I've never heard of this place. That
Yes.
doesn't sound like something from this episode." We're talking about the bar.
Right,
Yeah.
of course.
Redneck and Nerd asked a really good question, which is, who owns this bar? Do we know that?
Yeah.
No.
I like Satanalist Pumpkin's names for the bar. Under Magan, the bar was called Captain Magan's. And under Monell's, it's Daxam Crown Royal.
Wow.
Nice.
I like it.
I love it.
Because he's a prince and it's crown. He's royal.
I guess though, in their pocket, whenever they decide to, they could introduce the owner of this bar as a character.
They should.
Whenever like that character would be appropriate in the narrative. Like if we keep comparing it to Caritas, the demon bar from Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this is Supergirl's Caritas, who is this bar's Lorne?
I need to know.
They need
I'm
karaoke
prepared.
like now. Oh,
I mean, yes, because I'm looking forward to the musical episode of
Yeah.
Supergirl.
And
Oh my God.
Barman will be in it. My dream is complete.
It's gonna be so good. Rachel from Crazy
Ex-Girlfriend.
Ex-Girlfriend wrote 2 songs
It's
for
true.
the show. Guys,
Rachel
it's gonna
Bloom.
be great.
You know what else? What other place could use a karaoke bar? The DEO. You
Yeah.
see-
You'd really liven the place up.
It would. It really would. And then they could have, instead of doing the fire test, done a singing test.
Oh.
Yes.
Doesn't
Sweet
make sense.
segue, Tari.
Doesn't make much sense at all.
Nope.
It's all right.
Sweet segue, Tari.
I feel like only one person would use it.
And it would be Supergirl.
No, it would be the name is escaping me right now. Her best friend, who was just like this.
Win?
Win. It would
Yes.
definitely be Win in between like programming stuff. He'd just be like, you know what? Move aside, guys. I'm gonna sing Doves Cry. He's gonna break out his
And he's gonna
best
do it,
friend.
and his hand is gonna get real big, like it
Toes.
Well,
is.
you're really
Yeah.
obsessed with this big hand today.
He loves
Like,
big hands.
In an episode full of effects that I really enjoyed, that was probably my favorite one.
I liked Alex's mouth.
Yes,
thing. That
okay,
was really
you're
good.
right.
It was a
That
really
and
good
the
horror
yes,
moment.
I'm trying to get to this big giant fight.
We will not let you do it. Sorry.
So, guys, let's talk about Win. No, this the siege of the DEO was really well done. We had the big surprise that there were 2 Martians, so we had that moment between Supergirl and Alex that turns out to be the fake Alex. We have Winn has a whole arc where he gets accepted by Supergirl. I mean, guys, what were your favorite parts other than this big giant hyped up fight? That can also be your favorite part.
I liked.
I gave us rules and it was like, just throw those rules out. They don't matter.
I really liked the reveals. Like, I thought that they were surprising. Like, they did a good job on revealing, like, the win and going into those special effects that you mentioned. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Martians all punching each other was wonderful, but I also really loved the very overt nods to Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, the fire test. There's a scene in The Thing, if you're listening and you haven't seen The Thing, shame on you. Go watch John Carpenter's The Thing.
Don't shame them. Just
one of the
pause it.
greatest
This is a great
motion
learning
pictures
opportunity.
that has ever been made. Shame on you, Tauri.
Thank you.
Shame. All of the
Thank
shame.
you.
Now go.
Thank you.
Better yourself.
Okay.
But there's a scene in it. There's a scene where they perform a blood test in the movie that is very, very similar. So that made me happy.
Nice.
The nods to Aliens that I referenced earlier, where they're finding the bodies with the goop all over them,
Yes.
all of that stuff, I appreciate a great deal.
I found this really interesting because in the comic books, Martian Manhunter is very susceptible to fire.
Yes, it's like his kryptonite, basically.
Yeah, so it was interesting to me that they didn't go that route, but they made it that was the main weapon that the Whites used, and so he's he's uncomfortable around fire, but it does not disable his powers. Which I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of wanted his suppressed powers via fire. I just thought that was kind of a cool thing, but then I guess every time he runs into a burning building, we're gonna have issues.
It's also an interesting weakness for a powered alien to have, because being on fire also mutes my powers.
Well, even Jason Voorhees was, vulnerable to fire.
This is true.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment in the all of the fight scene was actually Magan going up to him and being like, "Look, I got your back. You don't have to worry." Like, slipping into the native tongue, like just being a good, down, supportive friend. I was like, this is a really touching moment in, like, the midst of what is probably one of the most terrifying, like potentially most terrifying moments on Supergirl so far. Just because, yeah, we don't know who it is, and it could be anybody, and it's kind of scary.
And we totally wanted them to slip native tongues in another way.
I think that's just mostly you, Lacretia.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, who
Yes.
else wanted alien sex? Guys, tell us your thoughts. This is a very big concern of mine.
Lacretia polling the chats, am I right?
I know, that's your job, sorry.
Man, guys, stuff's crazy.
Stuff sure is, man.
Stuff's crazy.
All over.
And you
When
know what?
did Winn get replaced is my real question. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, it's fine.
I had a real...
That's a really good question,
I was trying
because
to figure it out.
they're all in the room and the lights go off and the lights come back on, and Jean is like, the Martian must be one of the people in this room. But if that's when Winn got replaced, where did real Winn go that quickly?
Was Winn, I figured, was he terrified and he left?
ran.
And then Alex was like, "No, Winn, stay!" And like chased after him, and that's when they got caught.
Well, there's a chance that that Winn was the White Martian the whole time, and the other Magan was the second White Martian, and so that he was already taken, and then they did the switcheroo after that point.
Interesting
Sorry,
theory.
with the
Yeah.
logic there. And
Boom.
Lots of people in the chat want alien sex. I won't name you just in case your employers are watching, but thanks, guys. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. All right.
we're a very niche program.
Yes, very much so. We have
CW,
we have
listen
one.
to what your viewers want, and it's alien sex.
Yes.
No, but that actually, right,
You my
that
people.
logics that question away. Because
Pretty much.
if that's
Right,
the
yeah.
second one, then we're square.
Yeah.
Okay.
No plot holes,
So
you
it's
guys.
been Winn the whole.
Yeah.
We
Winn
filled
was the
it
white
in.
alien the whole time.
We
Yes.
just spackled the hell out of that plot hole.
Oh
Spackled.
yeah.
Tari spackled.
That's what I do,
Tari did
son.
spackle.
You know, I make things great. And you know what else makes things great? You guys going to iTunes and sitting that 5-star.
Oh, it's so smooth.
I know. I just couldn't keep it together. Anyways, hey guys, do you love what we're doing? We obviously love what we're doing.
Clearly.
And you know, you could show us that you love what we're doing is by going onto iTunes, hitting that 5-star rating, and leaving us a comment at the bottom. That helps us by, letting our producers know that you love the show, so they'll keep putting it on. It lets people who don't watch the show currently know that it exists because it sifts to the top of the water. Yep, it sips to the top of the water. It floats to the top.
It's happening.
All of your comments, send it all to the top. The more stars, the more floaty. Oh man, but no, seriously,
It's true.
Your ratings really help us out, and they also kind of help us know that that people are watching, and then that we're doing a good job, and that you love us as much as we love you.
And we read all of them.
We really do.
On air. I mean, and guys, we don't have a new one yet. It's so weird.
What?
Lex's cup needs those.
He needs 5 stars or he's
I
gonna
do.
go dry. It's
I
gonna be
do. I'm on a
awful.
very
It's
strict
true.
5-star diet, you guys, and I don't want to waste away. You don't want that, do you?
No. He runs on stars.
No.
He's like Mario.
Oh.
So do that thing, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and also leave comments there. I read those as well, and I reply, and then you're like, "Is it really you, Tauri?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And also they reply.
They
So
do.
that
The rest of these losers,
amazing.
sometimes they get on there. They reply.
Amazing
these guys
story.
exist.
Whatever.
Anyways,
Yes.
so I really want to talk about the Earth birthday, or as I like to call it, the Earth Day.
The Earth Day?
Earth Day.
There were so many sweet moments in the storyline.
Yes.
Yeah, I love them. I think they have great they're great scenes together, time and time again.
They feel like sisters, and
Yeah.
you actually feel a history between the two of them and a bond between the two of them. And you'd think, well, they're playing sisters, of course, but you watch a lot of shows where you're supposed to buy that these two actors are siblings, and
Right.
they're clearly not.
Yeah.
And
The-
they clearly try to make them have sex.
Okay, Lacretia,
Hey,
girl.
I was just making
Don't
a
bring your
flash joke.
supernatural stuff. Oh gosh. Okay,
I
you're
was
going
making
Flash.
a flash.
We all
I thought
thought
you
of a
were pulling
different show.
Hey,
So,
I've been told I'm not
they're
allowed
not really
point.
sisters.
Okay,
I'm
I'm-
making Lucretia's point. That's
I'm
amazing.
not allowed to bring up Supernatural on non-supernatural after shows, I've been told.
but point being, I think these two have an absolutely wonderful, believable chemistry, and you really do feel the history between the two of them. And I think it's great because these scenes are, like you say, so incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
Like Stephanie, you always reference this idea that you and I are frequently watching the show for different reasons.
Yes.
All right, frequently, you may be right. These scenes, though, I think.
Yeah, no, this is when we're friends.
Yeah. What? Wait a minute. I have questions.
Every other time she
Only
hates
during
you.
those scenes. You're friends for 5 minutes at a time.
we go in sections. No.
Very, very up and down. But I think in those scenes, certainly, we are absolutely watching the show for the same reasons
Yeah.
because they're working on me too.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I think, especially tonight, we've all had those moments where you feel like, well, did someone forget about me, the birthday, and very relatable, real life. And I felt like that was what was so great about the episode tonight. Really big moments when you had aliens and things like that happening, and then these sweet, real moments, and you get a really good balance of that in the show.
Like, I like that it's like as Lex says, you take away the superpower punchy stuff. Like, it was literally just the story of two sisters growing apart because the older sibling is in a relationship and trying to explore what that means for their relationship. And I think that was really, really, it was touching because anyone who has siblings knows what that feels like.
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
spending all your time together.
Yeah, people get in relationships, even with friends, siblings, whatever, people get in relationships and that changes friendships. That's just the way life goes, kind of. Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Joelle, what you gotta say?
The sisters are cute. That moment was good.
Yeah, totally.
More Monel.
Okay.
Hey,
More
okay, at least we
Mon-El.
agree on that because I was really upset that he wasn't in this episode after I made him my man crush Monday. But I did love the sister thing. That was
That's
cute.
true.
Because I have a brother and we're pretty close like that.
Yeah.
I would be mad if he was going to hang out with his girlfriend, go to Bare Naked Ladies without me on my birthday.
Yeah, but Earth Day. So someone in the chat had brought up, and I'm really sorry I missed your name. Chat's real fast, and I don't look at it very quickly.
And I've been
Whatever.
shitting on
But they
Smallville.
were asking if we felt like the fact that the conversation between them having happened with Kara and the White Martian kind of detracts from that moment in general. So now she had that moment, and okay.
I don't just because it seems like there is a psychic link or a mental link because she keeps the memories, and so I feel like the aliens may be responding in the way that she would have. It didn't take away from me. It felt a little convenient at the end, but it still sold me.
Yeah, it would have bothered me if she came in and she was like, had no recollection of it. Then I would have been like, oh, this beautiful moment that kind of feels now wasted in so many ways. By her having these like brief recollections of it, I felt like it wasn't. It still maintained whatever feeling I had during that scene.
I agree. I felt like anything that you may have lost by not actually having it be Alex was made up by, in part, with the fact that, yes, she retained some of those memories, but then you immediately move into that really wonderful last scene between the two of them, and I feel like that made up any possible ground that they needed to make up. But on top of that, I feel like them having that conversation earlier and her really opening up to this person she thinks is her sister makes that reveal all the more terrifying. So I think it served its function in more than one way.
See, and this is why I wish there were more White Martians, because if they couldn't have gotten them all, that fear would resonate for like another 3 to 4 episodes of like, oh my god, it could be anyone.
Well, they could do their own version of like a Skrull invasion.
That's true.
Yes.
Essentially. Yes. Yeah.
That is what I want.
Yeah.
I want Invasion of the Body Snatchers style. Like, it's my favorite horror movie. Is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and I want everybody to rip it off. I would just really like it when you're like, I don't know who is who and who I can trust, and it's just much better when they have their memories and their like speech patterns, and so there's just no way of knowing who will betray you, and then Kryptonite could get close to Kara, and then what will happen?
Right. Well, there's no Kryptonite anymore, guys. But I mean, well,
where did it go? There's none on the Earth.
Superman took it.
Okay.
But they did establish that, like, the White Martian community is thriving. If they wanted to conquer another planet, they could, which opens the door to us having that large-scale invasion, especially now that we have these killed White Martians on Earth. We have Magan going back, and they know that John is on Earth. So, like, that does seem like a season finale kind of thing. So, if we are waiting for Magan to come back, that would be the time to do it as, like, a herald of the invasion.
I could see that, for sure.
But we've also now started to get not character hints, but casting hints about who some of our villains in the back half of the season are going to be. And it's possible they're also Martians, but right now they're playing coy about it. But it sounds like our villains are going to be Terry Hatcher, former Lois Lane from Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman.
I just want to bring up who suggested that at the beginning of the season.
You did.
Was it Lex?
That was me. Lex is usually me in a red wig on Arrow. But
I am actually also Lucretia. It's true.
That explains so much.
She's a speed
Have you
hologram
ever seen them in the same
that I'm
place?
creating.
It's never happened.
Speed hologram. So, what am I talking about? Oh, and the other is TV's Hercules, Kevin Sorbo,
I hadn't heard about that one.
which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
I was really excited about both of the casting news that I kind of read I think it was in the last week or so that both of those came out.
Yeah, last half a week maybe.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they play that out.
Yeah. Speaking of players, let's talk about Mon-El and Kara. They had their moment when she was like, I hate you because you dax him.
I really want them to just, like, get together at this point. They both clearly want it. He is dating someone in her office because apparently that's an acceptable, like, it just is like...
The blonde cheap knockoff of her, too. Awful.
Oh,
I already had
poor
sex,
girl.
guys.
It's interesting they did,
Yeah,
but
they
still
did the
awful.
opposite.
Okay, so I have a couple. So first, I kind of didn't read Kara's rejection as a Daxam thing until you said it, which totally makes sense. I just read it as like he already dropped the hero thing. Like, he's already like, no, I'm just good at the bartending. Like, it's fine. You
Yeah, I'm just
rejected
being a
me. I'm just
person.
going to be over here.
The thought I had was there was the one line he had in the last scene where he's going off on his date, and he just offhandedly says, well, you know, you just swipe right till you find the one. And I went, you're fully assimilated, aren't you? You are.
He's an American.
Oh, he gets it.
That's it.
Welcome.
And it's just that. It's like Tinder dates and working at the bar, and he's cool. He's just a person now.
Yeah. And so that was the reason I thought she rejected him. But it's interesting that it might be because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what is so challenging about this for her? And then you mentioned Daxam, and I was like, oh, that's what her sister's getting at. Of like, it's complicated because you don't.
Yeah.
Because she's racist. Let's just straight up say it. Kara is racist against Daxamite.
Well, it's true.
It's
Yeah.
true.
It's a little bit.
I mean, to
No,
kind
it's
of
true.
put it in context of the episode, it was a stark contrast to Magan and John coming together, because even though they are different, they're from completely different species, not species, but like races, and Magan's race subjugated and eradicated John's, and so like having that, and then Kara unable to get over the fact that Mon-El is Daxamite, and a little bit more like rough around the edges is a little problematic, but like you get why.
I started to wonder how they're going to solve this, because clearly in these back half of this season, that's what's going to happen, is we're going to get that moment between Kara and Mon-El. Like, that's what it's all leading towards, I feel like.
Yeah.
We better, because Caramel is adorable.
And I think what I'm wondering is that if he's going to have to show his true character. Like, that's what it feels like.
We
He's
had
going to
that really-
save her or something. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I cut you off. We have this really great moment a couple episodes ago where Kara in the slave episode that Kevin Smith directed, where we see one of the aliens like start to shoot at Mon-El, and then they're like, no, wait. And we do have this feeling of like, there's a lot of off-worlders who have just recently gone back to their home planets, and we just had an invasion. I just honestly feel like Mon-El's going to have to step into his princely duties, which is something that clearly, again, he likes being one just like a normal, everyday person. So I think that's going to be really challenging, and maybe that's the moment Kara's like, oh, you can be a hero.
Can I say something controversial?
You should. I love controversy.
I don't want them to be together.
No.
So
Pourquoi?
despite their chemistry, and there's plenty of it, I don't feel like character-wise that Mon-El should have to change who he is to be with Kara. Kara obviously doesn't accept him for who he is, and I think that isn't right.
But she does, and so she's like, there's like an emotion there of her loving him. It's just, or have feelings for him at the very least, but she's just afraid of it, and so it's overcoming her own issue, not really an issue with
I
him.
would agree with that.
I disagree completely, because even like I do believe that she has feelings for him, absolutely. I think that she thinks that their relationship could be perfect if he would just adjust to live in the world she wants to live in,
Right.
which is
That's
never going
what
to
I'm
happen.
saying,
And that's
though.
what no, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, okay.
I agree fully with Tauri in that they probably should not be together. And yet I will never ship sane, healthy relationships. In real life, yes, only involve yourself in the sane relationships. But I like the mess that it causes. Like, I want to see
I
the
just
drama
feel like it's more
that
within
will
herself
incite.
that she has to figure out something within herself. It's not that ultimately he's going to change for her. It's that she's going to have to like come to a realization within herself.
You have things.
I'm listening to this, and I'm very fascinated by all of it, and I'm picking little things out of what everybody's saying. My first question, wasn't Daxam also destroyed?
It was.
Yes.
Okay, so presumably there aren't that many Daxamites left, right?
Correct.
Presumably.
So, Tauri, I'm with your entire line of logic, and Joelle, I'm also with you in that I would like to see him assume his princely duties. But if there's only so many Daxamites out there, wouldn't you think that would entail directly having to leave Earth to go find them and like round them up and start a new Daxam somewhere? To do that, he would have to leave Earth.
Although
in
we've
theory.
seen, in comic book,
Potentially.
if my comic book brain says that though most of Daxam is gone, part of it is still there, and we've seen people inhabit like these broken apart, like apple core looking leftover planets.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's what I think Daxam is. It's like what essentially was a planet turned into a comet with a couple straggling survivors on it. Because otherwise, there's no reason not to shoot him. Like, there's no reason to. There's no reason for that alien to
Except
be
for the
loyal
fact-
to
That's a good
Mon-El.
point. If there's no people to seek vengeance if they kill the prince,
Yeah.
then why not kill the prince? I suppose if you're a dominator, right?
And I'm not even going people. I just mean like it's a slave planet. Their planet was the most their best customer essentially, and so you wouldn't want to kill your best customer's king. But if your customer, so the customers must still exist. Is my
Right.
theory.
Well,
Yes.
and maybe they just thought look at him. He's so cute. You don't want to kill him.
They're like, that guy's
Because
real
that's
pretty.
what I think. And I totally agree that Kara should, accept him for who she is. And I think, or who he is. Wow, I'm Freudian slipping there. But yeah, that's the thing. I think they'll work, and Satanless Pumpkin has the best comment in here. Not wanting to sleep with Mon-El doesn't make Kara racist. It just means she doesn't want space syphilis.
It's not about not wanting to sleep with Mon-El. It's about demanding that he rise to her ideals and standards.
Yeah. Right.
Which is it's rude and kind of mean and short-sighted. The idea that like as basically a refugee on this planet, he should also then be a hero when that's not what he asked for, and it's not what he wants to do, and he contributes to society in his own way.
Right.
He sleeps with all the ladies and he makes the drinks. That's good enough for me.
And didn't you love that lady's little appearance on Arrow this week? It was cute. And
I missed it because I don't watch Arrow. But I believe it was cute.
It's good this year.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
You keep saying that,
right.
and I think I'm going to do a full binge after the season.
But yeah.
So the last thing is Wynn finally gets his approval from Kara, which I thought was nice. That's all I have to say about that.
Where did you see this approval? Did she state it blatantly? Because I feel like I missed it.
She goes, "Hey, be safe out there." Wink, and then she looked at the camera and was like, "I accept him."
That happened.
Where was James Olsen while all this was happening?
Where was Jimmy?
He off trying to be the Guardian by himself,
No,
like
he
with
was
no
running
one, no
a
backup,
company.
and he's out there like, "This is harder."
No, I like Tari's position of like, no, we have deadlines, okay? The Earth will save itself. I gotta edit this front page. Go.
I just feel like we are not getting enough of him. I really enjoyed
Agreed.
his storyline last week, and I want to see him again.
He's become the Candace Patton of this show. For those of you who don't watch The Flash, that's Iris. And Iris now has things to do in The Flash, and I look forward to when they give Jimmy, like, I would like to see him, like, have a big, like, Cat Grant was always dealing with, like, news and paper stuff, and it was exciting. I really liked it, and Jimmy's just, like...
Jimmy's got a shield that comes out of his arm.
It's cool. I like him as the Guardian, especially because McDuffie created the Guardian. It's really cool to see that character finally get to do and, like, some screen time. But also, he's also at the same, is that clashing? Is there, like, conflict? I just feel like there's so much story around Jimmy that they're just like, we don't have time to write that. What is going on in his world?
I'm wondering if now that Magan has gone off-world and we're not dealing with so many aliens in front of us day to day, maybe we can now take some time and explore more of what he's doing when he goes and pretends he's on Arrow at night.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a lot of potential for his storyline, and this particular episode was very like big strong alien heavy, so like we didn't need him. There was a lot of high concept stuff that he would have just gotten in the way of. But now that we're talking about what he may do, I think it's a good time to talk about predictions. I'm waiting for a
Theremin music.
sound.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
Spike.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
So, next week, we get Lena Luthor talking to, one can assume, Lex Luthor.
Yes!
But like, there's no way we see his face, right?
Well,
like we would have.
there's no way.
We would have heard a casting announcement by now if we were actually going to see his face. But still, Luthor's hands is very exciting.
That's true.
And two, as much as I hate Smallville, I would totally be cool if it were Michael Rosenbaum.
Yes.
Because he was the good part of that, as well as Justin Hartley.
Yes.
Everything else about Smallville was terrible.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
He's literally
I
the
disagree.
shiniest, brightest part of that show, and he should definitely come on. I didn't even think about it. That's why I'm so excited right now. Bring him on. Let him be Luthor again. Oh my God, yes.
So, Lucretia's official prediction, it's going to be Michael Rosenbaum.
When I saw that
Totally.
promo, though, the first thought that I had was, wait a minute, could this be Kevin Sorbo? Could they have kept that casting under wraps for a long enough time that they announce it and the next week he shows up as Lex Luthor? And in a week, I'm sure it'll be somebody else or we won't see his face.
Right.
But for a week, until something like, puts some documentation in front of me that shows me why this cannot be, I'm going to I'm gonna hold
Bald
out
Kevin
some
Sorbo.
hope. Sure.
I'm
And
into
the
it.
chat is like yelling at us that it was
Yes.
Lillian Luthor, not Lex. So that she was talking to, but I kind.
But we saw Alexis thing.
I know. I was like, I hope it is like.
It looked like it was. It looked like both Lillian and Lex, guys. I only saw it once. I didn't get a second chance. I did see her speaking with
Brenda
Lillian.
Strong was
Okay.
in
That
All right.
definitely happened. But I
All
also
right,
believe we
chat.
saw Lex.
I'm going to talk to the chat for a
Oh
second.
God.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the episode yet, so don't you tell me who it was. I can make my assumptions as much as I want.
Oh, no,
You
the
know
finger
what
wag
I've
came
been
out.
through.
Woo!
I was rooting for you.
Here's what. So here's.
Driving for you.
Leave these nice
Lucretia.
people alone.
Yes.
Though it could very well just turn out to be trickery and he's not there at all, certainly fine. But
It's
what
true.
what we definitely saw, which when I was watching it by myself, I did that. This thing that Joelle's doing right now, I did a lot of it.
Fanning of yourself
For an
It's
inappropriate
exciting.
amount of time, I got sweaty. We saw in a case the exosuit, the green and purple exosuit that Luthor
Yes.
wears when he wants to get himself all jacked up and go toe to toe with Superman in the fisticuffs. So it's there.
And it looks so good.
It exists in this universe, which means, are we going to see Lex Luthor put it on Supergirl? Probably not. But will we see one of the other Luthors put it on Supergirl?
Potentially.
We will, because who called that she was gonna be evil? It was me. Everybody said no, she's good,
No,
and they're gonna be friends, and she's nothing like her brother. But I cannot wait! I can't wait for her to don it. I can't wait for her to
will
punch
see.
Supergirl. It's gonna make my whole heart explode with happiness. We're not enough evil women.
That's true.
Well-
Stephanie, what do you think is going to happen?
I'm just reading that you're salty in the chat, so whoever said that, thanks.
Tauri is salty.
Hashtag salty
It's true.
Tauri.
I'm
Salty
Sass
J.
us,
Miller.
Tauri, from
Someone's got the
Miranda
cure.
Third.
But I'm shade because it's salt. It's cute.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Redneck and Nerd
Yes,
said, "Don't
thank
sass
you.
us, Tauri."
I got all the sass.
But to you guys who suggested Marsha Cross next from your Desperate Housewives alum, like Brenda Strong, I totally agree. I don't care who she plays, but she needs to be on the show.
Okay.
Like
I'm
that.
into it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be down.
She can put on the Luthor suit, so Lena doesn't have to, and her and Cara can make out.
Thank you, Davy
Oh, sorry.
Elmer. Yes, she could easily don that exosuit. I agree.
That'd be so good. Okay, any more specific predictions before we wrap up?
I'm probably gonna like it.
Great. With that, I think we're gonna end the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it with you next week.
Oh my
be
gosh.
here.
Thanks everyone for joining us here on AfterBuzz TV. This is Supergirl, Season 2, Episode 11, just in case you made it all this way and forgot what episode and season it was. Until next week, we will be on the social medias. Stephanie, where can they find you?
At Stephanie Wenger, all over the social media, whatever.
Great.
All of the social media whatevers. Wow, I'm Lex Michael. I'm also on all over the social media whatevers at the Lex Michael. And if you're a fan of DC on the CW on ABTV, we're here every week on Monday. You know that because you're here too. But we also talk Legends of Tomorrow, me and Lacretia on Tuesday nights, Tauri J. Miller on Arrow on Wednesdays,
Yeah.
also sometimes Lacretia on that. And then me, Lacretia, Joelle, do the comic book exchange on Book Circle Online on Wednesdays. Check it out. So much nerdiness. We love it, and we love you. Mwah.
To continue the nerdiness, check out The Magicians on Wednesday and Powerless on Thursday, which if you haven't watched, check it out. Look, the pilot is not 100%, but I promise you guys it's going to get better. It looks amazing. I have faith in this show. People are fighting me about it, so I feel the need to express
The
it.
pilot does have Starro in it.
It is... It's good, okay? You're gonna enjoy it.
Where can they find you?
Everywhere at Joelle Monique, and every week at blackgirlnerds.com, and this Wednesday over with the Schmoes Know guys.
Great. Lacretia!
Well, since I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one, and I'm on all those things, including Powerless, and I might like it. I might show up. Unless I got a book up, whatever. But Legion, I will definitely be there at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. So join me to nerd out with X-Men.
Nice. And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. That's TAURIJAY. I'm also on a bunch of nerdy shows with these people at some point, and also here every week, as you should be. Join us next week, and until then, have a super time.
Bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Hashtag Salty Tauri!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.